Hi, I'm Roddy Martin, Vice President of Supply Chain Product Marketing at Oracle, and I'm privileged to have with me Stuart Whiting. And I'm going to let Stuart introduce himself and talk about his role, and then we'll have a discussion about what's driving Schneider's automation's supply chain transformation, why, and what are you basically doing?
Okay, all right, well thank you very much, Roddy. Stuart Whiting, I'm Senior Vice President at Schneider Electric and been with the company for about 5 years, and prior to that with 3PLs for about 20 years in various positions around the world. So the question you asked, Roddy, is what's driving the transformation in our organisation? Well, simply put, it's the customer. We've got plenty of recognition for the quality of our products, the R&D, and how we are positioned in the marketplace, but we were continually being criticised for the quality of our delivery, i.e. the customer experience end to end. So our CEO chose to, Jean-Pascal Tricoire, chose to go outside, bring in expertise that could help bring the supply chain together to enrich this customer experience from the end-to-end journey with Schneider Electric.
So it's really focusing on the customer and reducing complexity in the business, and obviously with a product like Schneider Electric, or a company with a brand like Schneider Electric, there's many different SKUs that you're talking about. So how are you pulling that together across the whole organization? Have you chosen one business unit to pilot, or are you just doing it across everyone in the standardized way?
When, again, in terms of the supply chain was a sort of one-size-fits-all model previously. So again, understanding the customer buying behaviors, we've been able to take that back into the different lines of business and then communicate that in a way that they're able to respond to in conjunction with their sales propositions, their account management capabilities with their customers, and then how we execute within the supply chain. So we've introduced disciplines such as S&OP. We've then brought in layers of inventory optimization on the top of it, and to capitalize on that by talking to our customers and talking to the business, introducing network design and network modeling to optimize where we should be producing and manufacturing, what we should manufacture and produce internally, what should we externalize, and then which DCs should we position where to fulfill that demand against those different expectations.
Wow.
So it's been a phenomenal journey of change. We're about halfway through, but our vision of where we're going is very crystal, very clear.
So one of the activities you had is working with John Gatorna to segment from the demand side. Did that have a big impact on the supply chain design? Because it normally does if you start figuring out that you can't squish a whole lot of products with different characteristics into one supply chain model.
Well, you referred to it earlier on. At that point, we had about 500,000 different SKUs. So one of the things we've been driving is simplicity across our domains. And we started geography by geography, recognizing that buying behaviors can be different by marketplace, and they will have varying different degrees of influence according to buying behavior type. So we started in the Pacific, and why people said the Pacific, it was pretty well far enough away from our global headquarters, so we could sort of do a bit of skunk works, if you wish. And we were able to go out and recognize that the one-size-fits-all push supply chain was not meeting the needs of what we recognized to be 5 different supply chain buying behaviors. So against these 5, we've really been able to redefine not just our S&OP process, but our inventory, stock keeping policies, the mode of transportations that we're using, the different functionalities of distribution centers, and again, what would we outsource and what do we insource? So again, in the logistics footprint, where do we need to partner with 3PLs? Where do we have a more transactional relationship? And then when you start injecting the technology, where do we use the 3PL technology versus where would we want our own capability and technology to fulfill the need?
I mean, that's impressive, and one would think that every supply chain leader would think about demand-driven behavior, segmentation base, etc., because it does make a huge difference to the way you optimize your supply chain. If you're not looking from the customer back into the supply side, then what are you optimizing against? Filling up plants with product that sits at the wrong place at the wrong time, and that simply costs you money.